Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols. This episode is going to be kind of a summation of some of the cooler ideas about simulation theory and perhaps our role in it or evidence for it. I think we're going to start with some reasons quantum physics strongly hints that we live in a simulation. And then we're going to move into some other things that hint at it. And then we're going to move into who would do the simulation, why would they do it, and some really cool questions you don't hear much about. This is just for Mantid's hair care, by the way. Oh, and this is another one. Hide your grays hair stuff. Okay. Let's start here, might as well. Okay, here's some reasons why quantum physics hints that we are living in a simulation. You can go to the Quantum Research Institute, and they're huge proponents of this. Dr. Thomas Campbell has an incredible theory about this, my big toe, theory of everything, toe. But these are just some of them. There's a lot more quantum mechanics ones. And please feel free to write them in the comments. I would love to hear more of them. And I may not know some of the ones you know, so I would love to hear. So this is such a cool aspect of our universe, and it just hints at some sort of artificiality. And that's the fact that if nobody is there, whatever you're looking for ain't there. Things seem to, they've done tests to confirm this. And we've spoken about superposition in a previous episode, and even superposition is wildly kind of misunderstood by the general public. It's a state that becomes a chance, as if we're playing a game and the dice have to be rolled first. So it's not even one or the other. It's not both simultaneously, like some physicists like to say. It's just not formalized yet. It's not finalized. It's not crystallized and made fact in the universe, which is so cool. And that strongly hints at an artificiality. Probability waves and probability curves and collapsing probability waves we won't get into that too much, but that has a strong role in it. And this is another quantum physics reason why simulation theory really seems to fit. The probability curve is a statistical chance that something's going to happen. And it literally is like a curve, a wave curve, like, like this, like that. And the rarer possibilities are down here. Like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and the dice are rolled, and it's a 1, as opposed to the average, which would probably be right in the middle, And the probability, any of those things can happen. It all depends what happens when the dice is rolled. And some people say it's observation that makes that dice roll, consciousness. I think might be something even more fundamental that we don't completely have words for yet. But it could be something like assessment, either light hitting it or an animal seeing it or things like that. So the probability curve is a totally mathematical function. It's as if our universe goes, hold on, we're going to math. You've gone so small that we're going to math. The physical reality freaking disappears, guy. Yo, that is weird. That is a big hint at an artificiality. Now, this is a really interesting aspect of this. When we start getting into the classical universe, breaks down as you go smaller and smaller into this quantum universe. And the quantum universe, the classic universe can be predicted because there's laws. But the quantum universe is inherently unpredictable. It has this randomality to it. When you get so small, and think about this. If you're trying to trick someone into believing they're in a universe, the smaller and smaller and smaller you go, there's going to be a cutoff point because you don't want them to be able to predict everything, all the different possibilities in the universe. Then they kind of get a super duper power that might be too big for what you wanted them in the game. So in this universe, they had to come up with some sort of a device, some sort of design feature to prevent complete prediction of everything. It's a very powerful thing to be able to predict the future. And we can do it to a certain degree of accuracy. But if we were more advanced and had supercomputers and could plot the most probable course of even quanta, we could predict the future with even more accuracy. But the problem is, so much of it is probabilistic. There is the uncertainty principle. We can't tell where a particle is because light, or whatever you use to measure it, alters its course. So you can only measure its speed or position, not both at the same time. Absolutely fascinating. If you could do both at the same time, then you could do predictions, massive predictions. So that's another reason it strongly hints at a simulation. It's like a cutoff point where the universe is like, we can't let them do this. And the whole, simulation is kaputskis. Here's another aspect of the universe that the Quantum Research Institute talks about. Our universe is pixelated. It's digital. Everything breaks down into tiny little dots, basically. Just like a video game. We could get very deeply into that, but I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about. That hints at simulation. Another one is there is an error correcting code built into the fabric of the universe. This has been confirmed. That famous scientist, I'm forgetting his name now, had that great debate, not debate, but like seminar with, what's his name, Tyson, the astronomer from New York here. And this error correcting code is in the fabric of the universe. It has been confirmed by other groups now. Absolutely fascinating. Another aspect of this universe that hints at a simulation is its interactiveness. This universe is not like a separate universe that we can react to and observe and just get things from, but it has an interactiveness on a deep level, as if our consciousness is interacting with it. When you do remote viewing and some of these other intuitive skills, and it's not flawless, you get a certain percentage right, but even that hints at a very deep interactiveness. And when you go even further into the next step, psychokinesis, micro or macro, you have this real interactiveness with the physicality of space-time. And that seems very much like a hint that this is an artificial aspect. Healing does that as well. And this is non-locally over long distances. Absolutely fascinating. Conceivability. The fact that, first of all, we can conceive these aspects as a being is very, very interesting. That we can actually perceive the universe. Of course, there was a time when we really didn't. We had a lot of mistaken notions. But that even goes to my point even more. The conceivability of our universe, hence that it could be a simulation. And the fact that, we'll get to that in a minute. Oh, here we go, that's fine. It actually flows into the next one. It's the ubiquitousness of elements, laws, and forces. They're the same all over the universe. There's not different laws in different parts of our universe or completely different elements that break our model. It's the same. There's a ubiquity. That is very interesting. It doesn't seem like it has to do that. It wouldn't seem that way. Absolutely fascinating. Trying to read what this next one is. I can't read my own writing. A needed maximum. I can't read it. The speed of light. It seems like another one of those functions that are designed to stop us from super predictions. the speed of light is a limit on our universe in terms of traveling great distances and also in terms of the tiniest particles. That is very fascinating. There's a couple of these I can't even read. It's kind of funny. There is, and this is funny, there is, and you probably felt this in your life, there's a scripted element to the universe. Sometimes things seem so goofy, so absolutely bizarre, there's a scripted feel sometimes to life. I felt it very strongly in the past. Oh, I think one of these somewhere that I missed was exploits. There are places in our universe where there seems to be a little weak and extra special things can happen there. I think that also hints. Like video games have exploits in them as well too, little bugs or imperfections. Also glitches. I've had a few glitches in the Matrix, and you can see some on this channel that it's just mind-blowing. It's like, how do you figure that out even? When I was at that desk and my driver's license is seen the entire time by him and me, and my driver's license turns into a female, the picture does. I hand it to him, and he's like, who's this? He hands it back to him like, oh my gosh, who's that woman? I flip the card over, and it's me again. And I've thought of every possible, conceivable reason how that could happen, and it wasn't. That was a pure, straight up. And he thought, there's a great video of him on the channel here if you go back. I think it's under a glitch in the Matrix. And he's like, I thought you were playing with I thought you were screwing with me, that you're a magician or something. I was like, no, that was freaking weird. So if we are in a simulation, why would we be in a simulation? All the different reasons why. Who would want to do a simulation of us? Who would do that? Well, I think the ones who'd be most interested in humans would be future humans. Right? Those future humans would want to run ancestor simulations, essentially. Also, and this is equally probable, a future computer or a system made by humans. They would want to run one about humans. Of course, there could be a random creator being, and we just happen to be that weird species that they create. It could be another creature that kind of looks like us. It could be another bipedal creature, and we're just kind of the model that looks like them. It could also be, doesn't have to be human AI. It could be an alien AI. It could be a loving creator God who made us. This is interesting to think about too. Why? Why would they make this simulation? Now, of course, there are the many what-if history simulations. What if, Hitler became the world president, or those could be very useful and interesting to a future race. Of course, another reason why is there could be a future problem, and they could be looking on ways to solve it. That's another reason why there might be a simulation. This is one I think is this next one is very conceivable. It could be an immersive game for a privileged few, that they're immersed in our universe and they live special kind of lives that they wanted to play. We do that. We've got grand theft and all those exciting things. Maybe they're like some incredible criminal, or maybe, Beyonce is actually a player character and we're all NPCs. Why would they do it? There could be some sort of a control system to the real separate universe than ours, and this control system is looking for better ways to have control. This is one I really love, and I oftentimes hope it's this. There could be a super advanced being that is creating a good species finder, a transcendence test, essentially. Our universe is suspiciously constructed for life. Life needs energy and habitat, and that's all our universe is. Suns, which are energy, and rocky stuff, which is habitat. It's suspiciously constructed for life, our universe is. So, And another thing about that is there's such a great distance between solar systems, it allows each race to advance to a certain point before being, subjected to confrontation. So back to this transcendence test. What if there is a real universe that has slightly different laws? Maybe it's not as interactive, and maybe there's not exploits, and maybe it's a little colder, and all these different things. And maybe they're using this universe to test life forms. And this super technology, or God, or whatever you want to call it, is looking for beings to merit transcending to that world, where they won't go across the universe killing or whatever. Maybe another thought is maybe it seems like a simulation to us, but it's something else that's like that. It could be like it's a universal cosmic thought. It could be a lonely God created us for himself. A super advanced technical race that went post-biological. Then it went post-physical and is all strictly, energy constructed in ways that are super, super, super intelligent. Could be a lonely God. Another possibility is incredibly rare chance, and we just happen to be that one, which is something called the anthropic principle. We could be these NPCs, and if we are NPCs, our universe might be incredibly simple. And the real world might be incredibly boring. And that's why this universe was made. Dr. Thomas Campbell is running experiments to find out if this is a simulation. If someone does experiments to find out if this is a simulation and finds out we are a simulation, is that one of the required elements for shutting down the simulation because it's no longer unbiased? Is Dr. Thomas Campbell going to kill us all? I'm curious what you guys think. Much love to you and yours.